everybody. Welcome to our very first episode of the Fashion School, where we democratize fashion information. With us, we have a very special guest called Scola Namwai. She's a fashion designer based in Poland, and she works with fashion designers and beauty entrepreneurs to create sustainable and profitable businesses. Scola, welcome.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Thank you. So today we're going to be discussing about fashion designers and what they need to remember as they get into the market. So, Scola, being in this industry and seeing the way it works, what would you say as a fashion designer one should think about?
The very first thing I would recommend, I have made a couple of notes actually for this.
Yeah.
These are steps that I came to learn much later. So I'm basically sharing from personal experience.
Yes.
The first thing I think that I believe that designers and people who want to start fashion businesses is you need to know your business. You need to know what you want to start doing, know your niche. So if you want to make occasional wear, if you want to do mass production, if you want to do men's clothing, you need to know which niche you're going to go with. The reason why I recommend this is because different niches have different processes. So for example, occasional wear, maybe it has embroidery and beadwork. The processes, the time it takes is also different. So knowing and understanding and mastering your niche is important. And you need to know the steps involved from the creation point to the point your product is in your client's hands. And this helps you to know what each and every step entails, how much time it takes, and what resources are going into each step. And this also helps you to do your costing, which I'll talk about later. But the first thing, you need to know which direction you're taking. That's number one for me.
And I think that's very important because then it will guide all your decisions about the business.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes. And I think something else you have to consider is to be willing to start where you are. You own as a camera, use your friends, your family, your sisters, everybody that you know that needs, anyone who wants a nice profile picture, use them. Let people in your life support you for these things.
Yeah.
Don't think too high and say you have to plan a very elaborate fashion photo shoot or even fashion show. Think and figure out how you can start simply, and even using social media. That's so important.
Yeah.
You're already on social media, so that is something, just being willing to start where you are and then growing and learning.
Yeah. And also another thing, you remind me of when I was starting out when I was still in Kenya. I was cutting from our dining table at home. And because I didn't have a physical workshop, I used to go to clients' houses for fittings. So I was using everything that I had within my home. And I also had a sewing machine. So I was doing the stitching from my room and cutting on the dining table. Yeah. And sometimes my mom and others at home would help me with the process. So I agree with you on that.
I saw that. All my photo shoots were done with friends and family.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
My other point would be planning. So if you want to succeed in anything, forget fashion. If you want to succeed in life, you have to plan for everything. You have to be very deliberate. Like I had mentioned previously with the time, knowing how much time each process takes. So it takes 30 minutes to cut. What are you using to cut? You need to plan, you need to plan for the week, then plan for the month, then plan for the year. On Sunday evening or on Saturday evening, it could be, your week maybe could be starting on Wednesday. You don't have to follow the norm. Yeah. And when we say year or month, it doesn't mean that if you're caught in April, now you have to wait until next year, January to start. So you can say like, I started on the beginning of the year. No, your year can start anywhere. Your week can start anywhere. You must have a plan for the week, a plan for the month, and put something down and say, I want to have this at the end of April next year. I want to have this. So put that down. And also making sure that everybody around you, if you have a team, knows about the plan. So it's not just your plan in your head and nobody else knows about it. Yeah.
That's a great point. And I think the other thing is to find people to collaborate with. When you start initially, you might not have the funds that you may need. So if you find a makeup artist that you can collaborate with, do a project together, a photographer, a venue, these people who are creatives and they are actually looking for, they will be on the opportunity. So I find even another designer, you can collaborate with somebody else and do a show together, a pop-up event together. Sometimes paying for those tables might be expensive, but if we split the bill, it will be will give us a better chance of making a profit. So finding people to collaborate, it's continuous. It never ends. Like, we cannot afford to be selfish in this industry.
Yeah. It's true. And this also reminds me again of Ogake Mosomi.
Yeah.
She's a very well-known bridal designer. She's amazing. And I remember there were times when I needed a mannequin to work on. I didn't own a mannequin myself. And Ogake would allow me to go to her workshop and use her mannequins. Absolutely for nothing. She helped me. And this was out of, keeping contact with people in the industry. There are people help you when you need something. And it's something that I'm forever going to be grateful for. I always remember that, actually.
That's really special.
Yeah. Yes. Another thing I would add is educate yourself. Understand the business ecosystem in which your fashion business exists. Who are your competitors? Who are their clients? What do they do? You need to know the business ecosystem in your region, in Kenya, in East Africa, Central Africa, West, South. You need to know what's going on within your region and outside. The Business of Fashion is a very nice website. I'm sure all fashion designers know about it.
Yes.
I do understand that some of the news may not relate to the African region, but you can get something. You can get some pointers. You can get some know-how. The information that is out there in the fashion business platforms can keep your ideas fresh. You're having discussions with other fashion designers and other fashion platforms that you're invited to. So keep yourself educated. Know what's going on in the business, in the regular business of your region. Read the business daily newspaper and just look. Maybe there are some investors in the market and you've been looking for investment. By educating yourself, you'd be able to notice these things.
Yeah, that's right. And also now in the same area of educating yourself is getting financially literate, because as sometimes it's not the most favorite thing for creatives to think about the money part and the business part. But when you're running a business, you don't even have a choice. You have to figure out what's coming in, what's going out, what's being spent, so that you keep figure out how much your production costs are, because the whole point is to keep reducing your production costs. That's the thing, and also depending on what aesthetic is, so that you know how to price, you know how to source for materials, the right materials according to your brand and your vision. So becoming financially literate is so important, and there are people who are willing to do this for you. You can hire an accountant. Those accountants that you hire and they come in. Accounting once a month and they tell you do this, do that. That is so important. Otherwise there's no business that you're running. You're wasting time.
Yes, it's true. And to add on that, it's important that even though you outsource the accounting responsibilities, it's important to be able to read the statements of accounts. Do you know what a balance sheet is? Do you know what a statement of profit and loss is? Do you know what a cash flow statement is? Some of these things, as creatives, you don't know them. You have no idea what they are or what they mean even. What do those numbers mean?
Yes.
This is something you as a creative could sit down with your accountant and they can explain and let it be none of your business. It's not going to work. You need to know the numbers. Yeah. Because you need to know the numbers.
When somebody asks you, how's your business? You need to be able to give the numbers.
Yeah. And another quote, I have a very beautiful quote about it. It says that a person who wishes to influence the decisions of governments, organizations, and companies must therefore learn to speak in numbers. So if you want investment, if you want to go to the bank for a loan, if you need anything, even if you just want to buy an extra sewing machine, an extra equipment, you need to justify that with numbers. Yeah.
Wow, that's an excellent quote. Yeah.
Yes.
So I think another point. Do you want to go next? Yeah.
I have another about training your team. Training your team, that having the oneness in your workspace. That is for those who already have a team, because some are working by themselves in the beginning. But if you start getting adding people into your team, then you must train your team and teach them about the process of your business. And you must learn to delegate the work. And you're still in charge, but you're not taking everything under your control. You're releasing control, yet you are still in control. So train your team to work in a way that even in your absence, you would be able to continue working. And this is something I'm also very passionate about, is helping people to grow businesses that you can outlive them. That, say today, if you drop dead, that business can sing. People know how the rhythm works because you work together. Everyone is in sync. So train your team according to the processes of your business.
Yeah. That, and also, if your business should run in a way that if you were to send somebody to open it in another town or another location, it ought to be the same. It ought to be the same as the one in this location. So, because a lot of times as fashion designers, we run the business according to us. So if you're not there, nothing will happen. So if you have to you're running from point A to B, trying to make sure everything is okay, and that doesn't have, you can't scale. You cannot. It doesn't have scalability. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I can also and this is something that has most of these things. I'm speaking from experience, actually. When it comes to training your team, the moment I left Kenya to come to Europe to further my studies, that was the end of my business. It literally dropped dead the moment I took off from JKIA. Because I felt it was my baby. I didn't want to involve other team members into what I was thinking, into my creations, into my thought process of how to do things. I delegated without creating a team, because there's a difference between that. So this is a perfect example of when you do not have a trained team. The moment you leave with everything, and everybody finds another place.
And I feel like it's a trained team and a system where you have a system the same way every time.
Yes, exactly. And then another point I have is speak to your customers and listen to them. Have a chat with your customers. Understand who they are, what they like. There are some customers who don't like glam. They like things that are toned down, while you may be a creative who loves to decorate everything. I am that type of creative. So many times when I found clients who didn't want decorations, I felt like, why? So when you get to understand your customers, you save yourself a lot of unnecessary labor, trying to wow them, yet they didn't even ask for it in the first place. And also keeping a conversation with your clients helps you to know when they will need a next outfit, for example, later in the year or something. So you can be able to plan with them and just to know who they are. Yeah.
I was going to say that it's not really about you as the...
Yes.
So we take it personally, and you feel like but it that doesn't pay the bills, it doesn't make the money. So you have to learn the customers, but also, of course, keeping true to your aesthetic or your brand vision.
And that's right.
In that whole thing, when you're running a business and you're thinking about financials and marketing, you end up being you start out, you're the manager, you're sometimes even the fundi, you're the HR, you're everything basically. You're the person sourcing fabric, doing everything. So you might find yourself lost in that doing that. And so it's important to keep creativity playlist for yourself. So at least twice a month, just take some time and do the thing that is your first love about fashion. So what is the thing that you do first? Is it illustration that you love to do? Is it watching a movie or a documentary, or even watching a Dior show, an haute couture process makeup, something? Just make sure you do something for yourself. And you could do that every week. You just know that on Wednesdays, I sit down and I spend 2 hours growing myself as a fashion designer. It is so important, because if you don't do that, you end up presenting this thing called fashion, and you start hating it, because all you do is the accounts, handling the fundis, clients. So it becomes not a very nice experience.
Yeah, it's true. And one other thing I would add to the points, aside from keeping a creativity playdate, is have a day where you prepare your social media content beforehand for posting for the entire month or for the entire week. And there are numerous scheduling applications and softwares in the market that can help you do the posting, where you don't have to be the one that is every morning waking up to do the posts. You can just upload your content and it just streams according to the timings that you've set. So there are things like Lumi, Falcon, Agora Pulse. These are some applications, and you can just Google. Like, Google is your friend. You can find all these things out there to have them, that you can prepare your content and schedule it and just sort of share it on your social media accounts for the entire month, and you don't have to touch it again. Like I'd said earlier, deliberately planning. And that content should be, like I said, organized and well thought out. If you are having a theme of the month and it goes well with the creativity, so you decided to be creative this month and you're into drawings and everything, you can be able to stream that stuff into your social media for the entire month. And it would keep people interested.
And consistency, actually. And when you plan it out nicely, it ensures that you're consistent. Because in my experience, when I've wanted to do it every day, that day I'll wake up and I'm like, I can't think, I don't feel like posting anything. So then and then like 2 weeks later, I'm like, oh, I should actually post something on my wall. But you see, people already became inconsistent, and that's not how social media works. Facebook itself has an app, Facebook Suits. You can actually schedule there.
Exactly.
So many resources available to do this.
It's true.
That's a great point. And social media everybody is online now. And so fashion business, and you're not on media, I don't know what you're doing.
Exactly. I agree with you.
Social media, there's no other way. So you need to do it. I think those are great points. Those are 10 points, 10 things that every fashion remember. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Scola?
For me, I think we've covered the most important ones. Obviously, there could be others, but these cover other smaller ones that we may have not mentioned. But I think that would be it.
Thank you so much for being our very first guest. You're so amazing. And if you'd like to come, I shall put all her details in the description below. And you can get to see all the work that she's doing. See you in the next episode.
Bye. Thank you, Linda.
You're welcome. Thank you.